Hello, Rosemary.
How are you, Elder?
Can you present yourself?
Yes, well, I'm Rosemary Morrow from Australia. I've been teaching for a long time. I think I'm running down. We've just finished a course in Austria. We've finished 2 courses, very intensive adult learning facilitation.
My name's Jeff and Latifah Lawton.
And where do you come from?
Australia.
It's a lovely site, it's a really nice part of the world, and it's also been nice to have some winter in the Mediterranean, because it's where I come from. So in Australia it's all the plants are the same, and we've been on tour for quite a while. I think we've done about 22 different gigs. I call them gigs.
I'm Leslie Martin. I live in southern Portugal in the Algarve. I teach permaculture and I make soap.
My name's Bill Morrison.
And where do you come from?
I was born in Stanley, Tasmania.
In your opinion, what is permaculture?
It's quite difficult to define, but I suppose a fairly short definition is that it is about designing sustainable human habitat in sympathy with the nature around us.
What do you have to say to people that has just discovered permaculture?
I would say that if you find you're interested, then you should go and take a permaculture course and find out more. There are lots of very good teachers around.
And, then I became a chef, then I worked on organic industry as in retail. But in terms of design and consultancy and everything since 1993.
What advice would you give to the young permaculturists that are starting now?
Teach as many people as you can in as many ways as you can, because we will need this knowledge spread quickly. So if you're able to, talk to your neighbours, talk to the shopkeeper, talk to the postman, talk to your schools, community centres and churches. Wherever you go where there are people, then start practising, talking and making permaculture sound a great thing and an important thing.
Yeah. People invite us to come, well then that's what we do, as long as it all works.
Yeah. And what brought you here?
Poverty. I thought I'd have to come and teach, and that was a little bit of fun.
Which are basically earth care, people care and surplus share, teach us to respect all forms of life on this planet. So I think if people actually adhere to those ethics, then they're actually going to be looking after nature in the way that it deserves and needs from our own safety point of view. We need each other.
And once we generate the interest, then we come back again. The Mediterranean climate is such a gift to live in, because it's, you know, you get the best of all worlds. You can grow a very wide variety of species and animals.
How can permaculture help in against the climatic changes that are happening?
Well, I'll just go backwards a bit. I have looked at all the systems that I think are available at the moment: transition towns, biodynamic farming, organic gardening, regenerative agriculture, all these. Ultimately, I think the only integrating one is permaculture. And of course, if you've done a design course, you haven't learnt to implement very well. So you need to be doing it and talking it, and doing it and talking it. Ultimately, I think we think locally and act locally to change global conditions.
There's also the economic conditions. It always works that when you have some sort of crisis, people always, you know, fall to these sorts of things. And yeah, so we've got a bit of that here. Portugal's one of the poorer countries in the EU, and so I think it's a really good time.
How can these teachings connect the young and the old people?
I think because permaculture teaches that everybody has something of value to offer, and it always was in the old days. We never dismissed our old people, and we always took great care of the young, and nowadays We send the young to nursery schools and we put the old people in old people's homes. Perhaps we ought to be putting them together and solving two situations at the same time. They always were the teachers of the young.
And what brought you here?
We were invited to come to teach a course, weren't we? Yes?
And what do you think will be the future for permaculture?
We're going to free Palestine.
What is the responsibility of a permaculturist?
I think to take responsibility for themselves and work out from that.
Is the permaculture of today the same that Bill Mollison invented?
No, I think it's changed. The basics are the same, but I think it's changed an awful lot in the time because different people are applying their permaculture, and I think nobody's permaculture is exactly the same. And the teaching changes all the time as well because we just learn more and more about natural systems and how we interact with them. So many things that were taught before, we perhaps now feel that we've moved on a little from there and we can teach something beyond it. So it should always be changing, I think. So it automatically it's much different from the permaculture Bill Morrison taught.
Do you have any advice for the permaculturists that are starting now?
Yes, don't take any orders from anybody.
What is a comfortable existence?
I think that's going to vary from person to person. I think that most of us in the past were satisfied with and perhaps ought to think about enjoying the benefits of some of the simple things of life. I think we need food, good food, we need shelter, we need good companionship, family, friends, love. I think we need some kind of meaningful work, which hopefully will bring us our livelihood. I don't think we need much more than that, and a connection with the natural world. Some people will need a little bit more, but okay, I could survive with that. I could survive with that.
Why so different people get connected?
I think when they have a basic, what's the word? A basic belief in the fact that we really need to do something about the state of the planet, and it's becoming more and more common. I think people tend to look for like-minded people and get together with them because they feel safer and because they feel that maybe when there are more people acting together they have more chance to do something about it.
And to the teachers, what advice would you give to a permaculture teacher?
Enjoy it. You've got a fabulous life ahead of you. People are great. Permaculture learners are wonderful. Relax, treat them as friends and all learn together.
And do you have dreams for the future of permaculture?
Yes, but they're coming true. I was just hoping it would get out of my control, and it has.